Hey everyone, welcome. So, you're planning a trip to Disneyland. Awesome. But let's be real. Picking a hotel can be one of the most stressful parts. Today, we're going to take a really close look at the Quinta Inn Suites by Wyndham in Anaheim and figure out if it's the right spot for you. This is the latest entry in our Disneyland Hotel Diaries, the series where we do all the homework for you. We dig through everything, the good, the bad, you name it, for hotels near the park. Our whole goal here is to just give you the straight-up, honest info you need to pick that perfect home base for your trip. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll get a feel for the vibe by looking at what the numbers say. Then, we'll zoom in on its location, which is a big one. After that, we'll check out the rooms and amenities, weigh the perks against the quirks, and then we'll wrap it all up with our final verdict. Let's do it. First up, the vibe by the numbers. We're going straight to the data because we want to see what more than 1,400 actual guests have to say about this place. So across almost 1,500 reviews, this hotel lands a 3.3 out of 5. Right off the bat, that score is kind of smack dab in the middle. It basically screams that people have had some very mixed experiences here. And whoa, this chart tells that story perfectly. Just look at this breakdown. You've got a huge group, over 750 people who said their stay was excellent or good. But then look at the other side. You've got more than 400 guests who rated it poor or terrible. It's like two totally different hotels, depending on who you ask. So polarized. Okay, now this is where the data gets really interesting. When you look at things like service, rooms, and cleanliness, they're all kind of hovering around that meh 3.6, 3.7 range. But then bam! Look at location. It's got a standout score of 4.2. This tells us that while guests are all over the place on pretty much everything else, almost everyone agrees that its location is a huge, huge plus. So let's dig into that. Which brings us to what is clearly this hotel's biggest selling point, its location. So it gets a walkability score of 80 out of 100, which is officially rated somewhat walkable. Now, for a Disneyland trip, what does that really mean? It means you're close, for sure, but the real secret weapon here isn't just walking to the park, it's what else you can walk to. And here's what I'm talking about. We're talking 38 restaurants, like the Cheesecake Factory and Bubblegum Shrimp Co., and 12 other attractions, all within a few minutes' walk. That is a massive convenience, having that many options for dinner or entertainment right there when you get back from the park. Okay, so the location is a definite win. But what about the room you'll actually be sleeping in? Let's talk about what you really get for your money when it comes to the rooms and key amenities. And here's a little peek at what you can expect. The rooms, they look clean, they're modern, they pretty much cover the basics you're going to need. And over on the right, you see the breakfast area, which is actually a really big piece of the puzzle here when we talk about value. More on that in a minute. Inside your room, you're getting all the must-haves for a trip where you're out at the parks all day. You got a microwave for heating up leftovers, a fridge for your drinks, and, most importantly, air conditioning for escaping that California sun. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. Now, outside the rooms, the hotel's got a pretty solid list of amenities. You've got your standard pool and free Wi-Fi, but a couple things really stand out here. There's a business center, which is great if you need to get a little work done, and this is a big one, it's pet-friendly. That can be an absolute game changer if you're traveling with your dog. Hey, real quick, before we get into the final pros and cons, if you're finding this helpful, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button and like the video. It seriously helps us out and lets us make more of these explainers for you. Thanks. All right, it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. Every hotel has its trade-offs, right? So let's break down the perks versus the quirks and see where this place really lands. So on the perks side, you've got that free breakfast, which can save a family a ton of money. And again, being pet-friendly is a huge plus for some. But then you have the quirk. You have to pay for parking. $12 a day plus tax. So while you're saving money on breakfast, you're shelling it out for parking. And that can really add up over a few days. And check this out. This is a super powerful tip from a past guest. They basically say, if your whole plan revolves around using the Toy Story parking lot shuttle to get to the parks, you might be better off at the Marriott right across the street. That's a very specific, tactical piece of advice for people who know the Disneyland ropes. Okay, let's bring this all home. We've looked at the numbers, the awesome location, the amenities, and the trade-offs. So what's the final verdict? Is this the right hotel for your trip? Well, based on everything we've seen, this hotel is probably a fantastic choice for you if location is your absolute #1 priority. If you want that free breakfast to save some cash, if you're bringing a pet along for the ride, or if you're just a budget-savvy traveler who needs a clean, convenient place to crash after a long day in the parks. So it really all comes down to this one question. For your specific trip, is having a killer location surrounded by restaurants and getting a free breakfast every morning worth the trade-off on potentially just okay rooms, service, and cleanliness? That's the choice, and only you know what matters most for your perfect vacation.